I will not sit up in the nosebleeds. I will not stop until they know me. I want you all to listen closely before I motherfucking proceed. Yeah, when you're grinding on the low key and they're complacent with their low deeds.
What is going on? Happy Thanksgiving week. It is none other than a weird day to be doing a podcast because, of course, normally we would do these on a Thursday, the predictions for, of course, the Saturday or Sunday pay-per-view that follows suit after. But because it's the holiday season and I figured everybody is going to be having some awesome memories and awesome moments with their friends and family this coming Thursday, Friday, and the whole entire weekend, it's only right to try to do a little bit of business before we get into the holiday season. So today we are doing the Survivor Series 2023 predictions for this Saturday's watch along, which we will also be doing right here on the Last Week in Wrestling podcast. So of course, I am your host, Dylan, from the Last Week in Wrestling podcast. And of course, to my right, the optimistic one. The man is saying that Full Gear is the greatest pay-per-view he ever saw in his whole entire existence. None other than Julia Hart's husband, Mr. Wolf. How are you, buddy? What's going on? How excited are you from of course, Full Gear? We'll talk a little bit about that. But, of course, today is all about Survivor Series and War Games, as, of course, Adam Pearce has stated. So, Wolf, how are you? How did you feel, of course, about Full Gear this past Saturday, and what are you excited for?
Full Gear was on a different level. Like, overall wise, it, like, Forbidden Door gave us arguably some of the best matches of all time. But, like, Full Gear was, like, just consistent, not a single bad match. Mm-hmm. Respectfully, you're delusional if you think any match was bad. Because even for like a 10-minute match, Hikaru Shida, Toni Storm, they still killed it. Like everyone and their mothers knew that Toni Storm was winning, but like if they still worked and killed it, like it was amazing.
No, absolutely. The Saturday pay-per-view was 5 out of 5. I would safely say that this has to be the best pay-per-view AEW has put on. I mean, of course, you have Revolution and a great other amount of pay-per-views.
The Texas Death Match being considered as one of AEW's like best matches, probably the best match of like AEW strictly of all time. Like, and of course, Forbidden Door with the New Japan talent being as crazy as they are. One of them now coming to AEW as a blockbuster signing, Mr. William Ospreay.
Yeah, we got Will Ospreay as AEW's brand new spanking new addition to the roster, Mr. Will Ospreay. I'm so excited
already that Tony Khan can now
rest.
Is doing right things.
He's starting to move in the right direction, and I'm so excited for what Ospreay brings to us.
We also got the new youngest AEW champion ever in a new
Your wife, yes. See, Julia fucking Hart, man, she did it. That means you can come back in the house now. You don't have to sleep outside. You now can come back home. It's a great thing. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you.
I'm really interested to see what Julia does with the TBS title. I wonder if she'll like make a special title like the house did with Trios titles.
Maybe.
And we also continue with the worst AEW tag team champions of all time.
Oh, stop it. We had an amazing match. It was a great ladder match.
It was good. It was really good.
FTR and, of course, Big
Just
Bill.
The wrong winner.
STARKZ. I don't know, man. I'm happy with the winners that we got. But, of course, we're going to put that...
Okay, a small moment, though. Can we talk about how Dralistico was killing it in that match?
Listen, Drilistico is always doing something fire. But no,
Yeah,
on top of
but
that,
that match he was popping off.
he was doing some stunts that I didn't think he had in him, and some spots that I didn't think he was
I
willing
was
to actually
impressed.
do.
I was
No, if you haven't seen Full Gear, I highly recommend watching it. This has to be, without a shadow of a doubt, the best pay-per-view from AEW alone. This is definitely one of the best matches from top to bottom. Even their 0 hour card was a really, really great way to start the show off.
Yeah, they killed it with that 0 hour. The matchups themselves were good, and then it, even, they went beyond that. And Eddie, Jay Lethal, Buddy,
Yeah,
Claudio, um, what was the Joe, MJF, the Guns,
yeah.
and that they killed it.
They
They
killed
were
it.
amazing.
No, they really, really did. But we do have another guest joining us right now. He's been away on business. He's been doing some bigger and better things, of course. My guy, Mr. AB from Wrestle Recaps. I'm so happy to finally see his beautiful face. My guy, how are you, man?
We,
What's been happening? How you
I'm
been?
good. Can you guys hear me fine?
Yeah, we
yes,
can hear you great.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I mean, I've been back in school, so yeah,
Enjoying
the
the sun.
semester
Look at you. You got the
exactly.
sun behind you, a beautiful backdrop over there, man. We're in the dark over here. We got to use
Uh,
lights to try to get through the night. You know what I mean? We're sitting in
yeah,
the
yeah,
olden
yeah.
times right now, my guy. He's
Nah,
living
I
in
get it.
beautiful land right there.
Yeah, I'm in California. Can't complain. Sunny California. Yeah, windows open. Still got a little bit of
Whew.
daylight left. Yeah, my
Yeah.
roommate's setup is back there. He's away at work right now, so yeah, I'm excited to be back though for sure.
Yeah, man. Welcome back. I've missed you. I know we've been trying to get in contact with one another with everything going on, but you've been doing some really big and beautiful things over there in sunny Cali. So I'm happy to have you on, at least for tonight, and hopefully to get you back on that rotation coming soon. Of course, going into 2024 and whatnot. But we are doing the Survivor Series predictions, which is, of course, this Saturday, and we have about 5 interesting-ish matches. Some would say good, some would say okay. Some are very happy that Survivor Series is happening this Saturday, but nonetheless, today that is what this whole entire podcast is going to be about. All of us here are going to break down the matches, give our thoughts, and of course, the biggest question will possibly be answered on Saturday: who is coming back? Is it the Viper himself, Randy Orton, or
we
the
might find
crazy
out
man that doesn't
tonight.
get along with nobody, Mr. CM Punk? Who knows? It is in Chicago, so you never know what could be happening, of course, this Saturday. But let's kind of start getting into some of these matches. Let's start with something that kind of just got made as of recently from this past Friday night, which is the Carlito and Santos Escobar match. And before I pass it over to Wolf, of course, Escobar has now betrayed LWO and has put Rey Mysterio on the shelf with that knee injury that he just had surgery on, and I wish him well in a very
For
quick
about
and
two
speedy
months, he'll
recovery.
be out.
What's up?
About 2 months, 6 to 8 weeks, he'll be out.
So it's about 6 to 8 weeks he will be out, but hopefully he gets a speedy recovery and a healthy recovery so he can come back and do his thing and whatnot. But now, of course, Carlito was the one to spill the beans and say, listen, he's been bad. He's the reason you lost that United States Championship to Logan Paul. So you need to keep an eye on him. And that is what's caused this match in entirety to happen. So, Wolf, I know you're such a big fan of not only Carlito, but Santo Escobar's turn to heel. So, who do you got, and what do you think could come from this if Santos does pull off the big victory here?
Well, yeah, I do think he does. I think Santos does get the win here. Mostly because of my prediction where he gets a new crew, and that is Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo getting called up from NXT and making Santos his own little LWO slash Legato group. So yeah, I saw like a theory online that they could do it at where Los Lotharios are like upset that they weren't considered for the LWO because their uncle, I think his name's like Hector Garza or something, was an original member of was a member of the original LWO. Um, so and I thought that was actually really interesting. So I definitely think it would make sense for Angel and Umberto to side with Santos and then fight with Carlito, Joaquin, and Cruz del Toro.
Yeah, no, I mean, this ought to be very interesting, the outcome here,
I'm
because I
pretty
feel
sure.
like,
I think Santos also, and Electra Lopez from NXT also had some interaction on Twitter because before the original Legato crew went up to SmackDown, Electra Lopez was with them as part of Legado del Fantasma, so Electra Lopez could come back and fight off Selena. So I think it would be really interesting, but I think Santos should probably win here, even if it's with help.
Yeah. Again, Santos's turn to heel has been very interesting. He gave us one hell of a promo this past
One
Friday.
wild promo
that we will not be repeating on this podcast at all in its slightest. But if you have not seen it or read what he was saying in Spanish, I highly recommend you read it, because that is definitely a promo in its entirety, and he does not like Carlito at all in the slightest. I mean, hell, back in 2005, 2004, when Carlito came on, spitting apples in people's faces, I wasn't a big fan of Carlito myself, but he grew on me and everything. But nonetheless, I think also this could be Santos's time to finally start getting a big singles push for himself, and possibly, like Wolf is saying, becoming a new faction and the leader of that faction down the road, going into something like the Royal Rumble that's not that far away now. But AB, I'm going to pass it to you, buddy. Like I said, what do you think could be the outcome for this match between Carlito and Santos Escobar?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna sound like a broken record here, but yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I think Santos Escobar really needs this win, especially given his new heel turn, this new character that he has going on. He just needs to cement himself as a top character going on, and then probably someone that's gonna face Rey Mysterio when he does get back from injury. Hopefully, he has a speedy recovery. And so, yeah, if they want to build him up to Rey Mysterio and eventually, beating Rey Mysterio, then I think, yeah, this is a win that he could definitely take. And I think Carlito is probably serving that purpose at this point in his career, where he doesn't mind giving the wins to the newer stars. We just saw him recently lose on SmackDown as well. He took the pin. So I think, he, Santos Escobar has a lot of upside, especially with this new character. And I just think, yeah, it's only up from here for him. So, yeah, Santos Escobar.
Yeah, I think I'm also going to agree with the both of you as well. Santos for me as well with this. I think, to everybody's point, this is the time now for Santos to break away from LWO, because many could say that LWO hasn't really been doing much. We had Selena Vega break off for a little bit and try to do some singles run representing LWO in the Puerto Rico match with her and Rhea Ripley. And then, of course, Rey becoming the United States champion and then losing it to Logan Paul recently in the last pay-per-view. Now, of course, Santos and Carlito are trying to be a part of this thing that's been, in some sense, dying, I feel, in the sense of a faction. There hasn't been much tension or representation of LWO on a very positive ground. So now it just seems like we might be at a point where Santos could be that differentiator to pull away and really start something that could actually bring the LWO back together and make LWO a very interesting faction in SmackDown with all the other things that are happening around them. We have the Hurt Business with Bobby Lashley and the Suit Profits now, and not call them Street Profits no more, because they'd be rocking out these beautiful Gucci suits and designer clothes and whatnot. No more basketball trunks and jerseys and whatnot, with the smoke cups and But now we might see something like that down the road as well. And I'll say that it ought to be really, really good for what could come between Santos and also Carlito coming back in action. I think everybody's just happy to see Carlito back and wrestling, and he looks great. And it's just I think it's a really big thing for all of us here. Justin said he's going to keep us posted on what's going on Raw while we do these Survivor Series shows. So thank you so much, Justin. We appreciate you. And what's up, JoJo? He goes, I hope Randy is a part of Team Cody. He most likely shows up tonight. It is something that we are going to talk about as well this evening as this is going on. We're about an hour away. About an hour ago, they had a black SUV with tinted windows drive into the back of the van.
That usually signifies a return.
Yeah, so
they're doing
we might be getting Randy tonight, which means we might be getting Punk on Saturday. I don't know how we all going to feel about that, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
And and I also would like to reiterate, if we happen to finish things here before Raw, I will host a Raw watch along. If not, then I'll just forget about it.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, we'll try to get you out of here before 8, so that way you could do that and everything. But now let's get to a couple of the championship matches that we have for tonight. Again, we only have 5 matches overall that are confirmed for the Survivor Series predictions right now for War Games as well. So let's get into the Intercontinental Championship between Gunther and The Miz. This one also has been something that many people, in a way, I don't know how people feel about it. Of course, The Miz, ex-Intercontinental Champion, has had a very good reign as IC Champion in his heyday. Now Gunther has just taken the ball and, ran with it as far as he could run with it. Tomorrow marks 538 days. A long reigning, beautiful champion like Gunther going to become the 538th day champion. It's unbelievable. But who do you guys think is coming out on top? I feel like this is the most easiest answer out of all the other choices we have here. But AB, I'm going to pass it to you. I feel like it really is. AB, I'm going to pass it to you. Do you think Gunther's retaining, or are we going to get one of the craziest moments of all of professional wrestling where The Miz picks up the win?
All right, listen. Like you just said, you might think this is the easiest prediction to ever make, but I'm telling you, this is the most surprising prediction to make, because I have in my book The Miz winning the Intercontinental Championship once again. Listen. A lot of people on the internet are going to be like, it's The Miz, he's the king of soft style. He can't wrestle, you know what I mean? Like, it's Gunther. But listen, man, it's The Miz. And over the last couple of weeks, he showed us, he's one of the greatest wrestlers in the whole world right now, busting out all these different types of moves, some tilting fucking like DDTs, buzzing out some top rope, cross bodies. So the Miz is a different breed right now. This face turn has cemented him as one of the greatest technical wrestlers of our time. And I think, he has what it takes. You're talking about the greatest Intercontinental Championship, Intercontinental Champion with The Miz, and the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion with Gunther. And the greatest will always beat the longest reigning. So count me in for The Miz, Mike Mizanin winning one more time. Let's go.
Wow. And oh my gosh, Justin, that's so kind of you to make a Last Week in Wrestling podcast sign. Jesus Christ! Yeah. Now I feel like a fucking true celebrity right there, man. That's some crazy stuff. Justin, please tweet that to me when you can, buddy. When you take a picture of that sign, tweet that to me, and of course I will be retweeting that and posting that everywhere.
On a curious note, though, Dolph is here, and I didn't think he's employed. Oh,
interesting.
Dolph is here.
Okay.
So
well, to be fair, I think Dolph still would have like good relations.
Yeah, I think there's still good relations with everybody. I don't think it was
WWE,
like a personal thing with them being, taken.
If anything, they'll probably just be allowed backstage, just to maybe he's here for Randy, just to say hi to Randy.
Maybe he could. He really could just be for that.
Maybe he's just there to whine and say it should have been him instead of Randy.
Right. Give us another
Yeah.
meme, Dolph. Give us another meme.
I mean,
But
the last time we saw Dolph, he got taken out by JD. Oh my god! Imagine if Dolph was the fifth member in one.
I'll die. That'd be the wildest curveball I'll ever see coming. But
That
I want
would.
to touch upon what AB just said because I feel like Wolf might have the same answer for this match, and he's calling it the Miz's night. And Miz TV might be getting a brand new spanking wall art thing for his show on Monday Night Raw, and it will be the Intercontinental Championship. So, Wolf, do you also believe that the Miz is going to pull out one of the craziest hooks of a generation right now, beating the 530 plus reigning champion Gunther on Saturday of all days? Or do you believe, like me, that Gunther's picking up the win and there's no chance in hell that Miz is walking out of there with
The
that
thing
IC
is,
belt, baby?
it's hard for me just because I want. The thing is, I wouldn't be. I would love to see the Miz, beat Gunther. Um, Especially since I want Gunther to now move on and go on to towards the world title because Gunther himself said he's outgrown the Intercontinental Championship. Like he no longer needs the Intercontinental Championship. So I think it would be a surprising upset. I think it would be a great way to transition Gunther into the main event scene, into the world title scene specifically, and it could be better for Gunther to go on to the Rumble and possibly win it and face Seth at Mania or whoever's world heavyweight champion by Mania. So
I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see the
the
Miz picking up the win here.
the other side is Miz is not my first choice for beating Gunther.
No, he's not mine at all.
He,
I mean, I'm
there's at
happy
least
for him, but he's not my first choice.
definitely not my first choice. There's at least three other people I want to beat Gunther, and that's Gable, Kaiser,
That's a
and
good one.
then Dragunov, obviously.
Dragunov's a good one too.
But the thing is, I could also see them doing those matches for possibly the world title. Maybe not Gable, but definitely could see Kaiser. Definitely could see Dragunov and Gunther for the world title. So I honestly think it would be great, in my opinion. But it really depends what their plan is for Gunther. If they want him to continue with the IC title and end up facing Gable again or facing Kaiser or something, then I don't know. But I think it would be it would be refreshing and interesting to see the Miz pick up the victory here. So just because I feel like anything can happen at Survivor Series, and just to get people interested, get people's attention, I say why not give the Miz a push and beat Gunther, especially since I've always enjoyed Miz as a babyface. Like he's great as a heel, obviously, but I just love him. Like the moment he's face, I immediately love him. Uh, like his feud with Shane McMahon, even though it's not remembered fondly, I loved him. Every second I was like, yeah, Miz is awesome. Which Miz is not like anywhere close to being my favorite, but I really appreciate Miz when he's a babyface.
Yeah, no, I think that right now where we're at with everything, it would be very crazy to say that this is the guy we're going to put our money into, show he's in a sense a transitional champion down the road at some other next big pay-per-view. I feel like that would have been a waste of putting all these chips in the basket for Gunther and him doing all of this,
But
breaking the streak and whatnot.
Yeah, but the thing is, my counter would be, we're putting these chips on Gunther, and now now it's starting to reach a point where we need to move forward with Gunther and give him a bigger look,
right?
bigger stage,
Which makes sense.
which means a world title.
Right, and that's fine. But like, wouldn't you rather than? I mean, okay. So then, if you want to, I'll play on your point for a second. Then, if we do something like that, and he loses now, then he has to win the Rumble in January. So that way, come, let's say Mania, Elimination Chamber, after Mania, wherever, whenever, he will then be getting that opportunity, and along the way getting that continuous
Definitely not
push
Chamber
to the.
to stay in US.
What's up?
Yeah, definitely not Chamber because of his residency thing.
Right. Okay. So then, it'll be Mania, Rumble, or somewhere in the States then going forward.
Yeah.
But at the same point, though, if that's the case, then okay, fine. But then, what does this mean then for the Miz, and what does this mean then for the rest of the Intercontinental Champions to come after him? Because if we're just going to keep the Miz as IC champion, what do we got here? What is,
we can
what is
easily
this
give it to people like Bronson Reed, or who else is on Raw?
I mean, even still, like I think Chad Gable could win off the Miz. Like maybe after he wins it, the Miz goes back to his arrogant heel, like, oh, I tricked you guys, yeah, I got your support, yada, and then Chad Gable maybe wins it off of him or something like that, because Christmas is coming up, so maybe they want that big pop for that as well. So maybe it's a transitional title for the Miz. You never know, but I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying. I think Gunther will benefit a lot from losing the Intercontinental Championship, just because then he's given that opportunity to move up the card and maybe even take the championship off Seth Rollins.
Also,
and
give it to
elevate him.
Shinsuke. We could give it to what's it called? We could give it to Ricochet. We could give it to
give it to Logan Paul. He's already the United States champion.
We could honestly
give it to Logan Paul.
The double champ Logan Paul.
Double champ
Logan Paul. I hate
that
I'm about to suggest this because I don't like this guy at all. But if you want to start pushing him, putting him on TV and stuff, Jinder Mahal exists.
No.
Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here with
on
that
Miz,
choice.
it would be fine. On Miz.
What? No. What for?
We've had enough of him. We've had enough of him.
What for?
I'm saying if they want to push him, but I'm
saying
happened?
Nothing.
I'm saying if they want to push him and they don't want like anyone else. But honestly, Bronson Reed, Ivar is probably the main two you could
Ivar,
get.
Bronson, Ricochet, Shinsuke.
Also,
you could do Chad Gable. You could do Kaiser.
You could do Ciampa. You
could do Gargano. You could do.
Xavier. Xavier Woods would be fun.
Xavier. You could do Kofi. There's at least 10 other better options than Jinder Mahal. Like that.
Well,
no.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what's it called? They just recently put and them showed them on TV, so I don't know. They might come back, and I really don't know what they're planning. But
no.
You know what? Actually, Apollo Crews. That would be better.
That's a better choice. If you
that would be better, and that would be good for him because they have not. He is not.
They've done nothing with that man.
I
Braun
forgot he got
Strowman
called.
once he
Forgot he got
comes
called
back,
back up.
maybe.
Yeah, but it's better than nothing with that man.
Yeah.
It's better than nothing with that man, because otherwise, what do you got? You start then making this IC championship like the United States Championship, in the sense that there's no prestige behind it anymore. If you're willing to give it away to just random people to then have them have a transitional champion phases, what's the point of even having all of that extra work when you could just keep it on Gunther and have him then lose it at the Rumble, so that way he can re-enter the Rumble, win the opportunity that way, and then go ahead and face Seth or whoever that World Heavyweight Champion is at WrestleMania or another pay-per-view. Hell, we even got Bash, we got Bash at Berlin, which I think he could go to. So
Gunther is.
So that's even a bigger pop for him, because if he loses it, let's say he gets his opportunity at the Rumble and lose it. Let's say he's the opening night. He's the opening match of the night for the IC Championship, and then he's number 27, number 28, or whatnot. Hell, number 15. Let's say just a random number. Let's get him in there. He eliminates everybody. He now has his shot for the World Heavyweight Championship. From now till, let's say, Bash at Berlin, if he doesn't want to do it at WrestleMania, you then give it to him at Bash at Berlin, but in his home country. The pop alone will be amazing.
He has to do it at Mania.
Right, but I'm saying if they decide that they don't do it at Mania,
maybe he loses at Mania and then do it again at Berlin.
Right. Or if he doesn't do it at Mania and he just does it at Berlin, then give him an opportunity somewhere between Mania and Berlin.
Gunther is 100% featured for Bash at Berlin.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I'm I don't think it would be smart or wise for Triple H to just make this Intercontinental Championship what the United States Championship is currently, which is this transitional, non-serious belt that people are not considering as a weight in this business anymore. So I mean,
it did have prestige, and then we gave it to Theory, and then
but now we made a business decision with Logan Paul, but we need to get back.
Like when Bobby and Seth had it, like it was actually worth something, and then we gave it to Theory because WWE was focused on Theory being the future and everything. And
see, Ethan says that he could see Ludwig Kaiser costing him the match against the Miz.
I can see Ludwig turning against Gunther and like breaking from Imperium or whatever. Like I would wait until Berlin. I would wait until around Berlin or at Mania even, and then they can fight it out at Berlin. I definitely, I don't know. It could go either way in my opinion.
Okay. That's not a bad point. But then now we'll speak on belts for a little bit briefly. Justin asks, what about Dom dropping the North American title at Stand and Deliver and having him challenge for the IC Championship?
I don't want to wait until Stand and Deliver for Dom to drop the NA title. I'll be honest.
It's a long wait.
Yeah, it's a long
wait.
I am not waiting that long. I would rather he drop it to Wesley again.
If he drops it, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Wesley, Axiom would be cool to see him have a title around him and whatnot, or
Axiom might be on SmackDown though.
Yeah, or it was just a one call-up match. I mean, I know, what was it? I think it was Justin that was saying that. Where is it in the notes? Tonight we have Axiom and Dragon Lee again in main event, and we also have Braun Breaker versus Cedric Alexander for main event as well. So that actually sounds pretty cool.
Another thing they could do, they could have Cedric go to NXT and get the NA title from Dominic. But I don't know. They could also give it to Wesley, and then Cedric challenges Wesley.
That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool thing. But We'll continue on. I know Asa sent me his results, so I missed his first one, but he said Carlito over Escobar for the Escobar Carlito match, and he believes also Gunther versus the Miz. He has Gunther retaining the IC championship against the Miz. So as we move on, we're going to go now into the women's portion of the show because we'll end it with the men's War Games because I feel like that one has a lot more of a
I'm
bigger
pretty sure
conversation.
that's main event. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that is also probably going to main event as well. But we have the women's championship match between Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark. And Wolf, we'll start with you. What do you how do you feel about this match first off? And of course,
It's good
after
for
that,
Zoe. It's good for Zoe.
yeah,
They're really high on Zoe. She is good. She's been killing it. I am happy for her, but I have
I
to
feel
say
she's getting the Shayna Baszler treatment.
no. She's getting better than that.
No. I don't think that she's wrestling like Shayna Baszler. I believe that she's getting the Shayna Baszler treatment and creative. And what I mean by that is that they're going to give her this push, but if she loses or when she loses on Saturday, we're
I
not
don't.
going to see
I
much of
don't.
her going forward.
No, I disagree. I think it's always gonna because she's still very young. She's still like she like this is one of the names that her and Ivy Nile that the like creative is apparently really high on. They really like her, so there's no way they would just feed her off to RHEA and then immediately drop her when obviously she's losing. Um, so no, I don't think so. She'll probably be kind of brought down from the main event scene, brought down from the world title scene for a little bit, maybe for a fair bit. Maybe she'll work with Shayna, or just doing standard singles matches. I I I think it's gonna be good for her that she's facing Rhea Ripley. I'm sure she'll kill it. Um, but it's very obvious Rhea will retain. And I mean, I think I've said it before about how much I don't really like Rhea's reign. Rhea's reign has been horrible, horrible. It's the like uh, I'm hoping this matchup makes it look worth something, and it actually gives a good match. Uh, but
They're not letting CM Punk signs into the arena for some reason. I'm dead. I'm dead. Oh man. Oh
usually,
man. Of course, for
I
all the
mean, with
audio listeners,
WWE, that might mean something. Like that might mean they're
yeah,
trying to hide something.
they're either
Uh,
trying to hide something or they're just not. They're not trying to have a possible incident on their hands. But I want to just quickly say this because I know that when we do these podcasts and stuff like that, a lot of the listeners that come on or listen to the audio version don't know
Yeah.
exactly what's happening when we're doing these live shows. So I just want to say that when you're listening, all you audio listeners out there, we're reading comments that are happening live during these podcasts that we do
yeah,
here each and every week. So, of course, if you want to be a part of those, come on over and hang with us the same day that the podcast on the audio side is released. But that is what we're reading from the comment section, so that
right,
way everybody kind of knows and that we're not just like talking randomly
right.
throughout the piece.
I yeah, Randy showing up tonight will not quell Punk rumors. It won't. Whether they like it or not, it's still going to happen. They're still going to be talking about Punk. Uh, Especially like the moment that the alignment was there. Like Punk is no longer in AEW. They're going to Chicago. Like, and now these teases on TV. Like, at this rate, I'm thinking it's deliberate. So they don't want people to talk about Punk, then you should not be referencing Punk like a JoJo reference every minute. But anyway, regarding but yeah, like I said about Rhea's reign, I don't like it, honestly. Uh, but it's like
Awesome, Justin. Yes, please do. Please do.
I'm really hoping
Bring that
this
sign, too.
I'm really hoping this match against Zoe Stark will make it worth more, because so far everyone is starting to think like Charlotte should have just retained at Mania.
Right.
And which sucks because we all wanted Rhea to win. We all loved Rhea. We still love Rhea. Like, Rhea's still, like, everyone
She's
loves
mommy.
her. Yeah, she's mommy.
She's
but
She's my mommy.
Her reign has been
JB's
terrible.
mommy.
Like, her reign has not been good because half the
I'm gonna
time she's
confirm or deny
in the
that, you know
men's
what I mean?
division. Like, you know what? At this rate, Rhea should dethrone Gunther. At this rate,
really bring back that China character of old.
Yeah, like,
you know,
fucking hell, she's gonna be in the men's division half the time.
You know, I'll say I'm gonna pass it over to AB quickly, but I want to say this briefly, and I'll let you kind of touch upon it as well, AB. You know, Rhea Ripley's had a long reign as of right now. You know, since winning this championship from Charlotte at WrestleMania. And, you know, she's had some very interesting competitors. I'll put it to you that way. You know, of course, Selena was the first, and then Natalya had a few opportunities. Raquel has had a few opportunities. We had the Fatal 5-Way at Crown Jewel recently, and now we're up to Zoey Stark, who was in that Fatal 5-Way at Crown Jewel. And like I was telling Wolf prior, you know, I feel like now we're at this moment.
Wait. Who did you say was pinned?
No, she was in Crown Jewel.
Oh,
she was a part of the Crown Jewel.
Okay, I thought you said Zoe.
No. Shayna was pinned.
Yeah.
Shayna was pinned, which I thought was a terrible idea.
That was the worst decision I've ever
terrible
seen.
idea.
That was garbage.
But now we're at this point where now Zoe has another opportunity like Raquel has had. And you know, like I said to Wolf prior, I feel like she might be getting the Shayna Baszler treatment with this creative decision booking. And I feel like if we don't see her after this pay-per-view come Saturday on Monday Night Raw in a match, or even in conversations of having a rematch or some type of stipulation to have another shot at this women's championship, she might be, you know, stuck in that bubble like Shayna is. So the question to you, of course, is who do you have in this match? And do you think this was the best choice to get Mommy into another match for, of course, the last pay-per-view of WWE?
I think, yeah. So first, to answer the first part of the question, I think it's a no-brainer that Rhea's gonna win. I think that she's very dominant. And to answer the second part, just to make it quick, I think yeah, Zoey Stark was the right person for this position, just because in the Crown Jewel match, she really stood out. A lot of people on the internet, like the internet wrestling community, was praising her for her performance. And so I think, yeah, she was the right person for this position. I think it's a good it's a good position for her to be in, just because it allows her to showcase her abilities in a one-on-one space. Last time it was like a 5-woman match. So now it's a one-on-one space to see if she can really hang at the level at which Rhea Ripley is performing at right now. And I think at the same time, it's kind of hard to see, you know, that the, you know, Women's World Championship is kind of being, I think she kind of gets lost in the men's division a lot, especially because she is involved in a lot of Judgment Day stuff. And it's like, I think it hurts the championship more than it, you know, is helping it. Because now it's taken her away from being able to, you know, take part in her own feuds. And she's focusing more on the things that are going on within, you know, the men's main event division. So I think if we're going forward with this, Triple H should probably make it an effort, especially within creative, to give Rhea Ripley like her own storylines and not just, having her have these A plots within the men's main event and then having her, side quests for B stories on the woman. Like she should be focused. A lot of her stories should be focused more on her own division and being the championship and defending in her home division. So yeah, hopefully we can see that little difference moving forward. But yeah, it should be a good match, and I have Rhea Ripley.
Okay, I like that. I like that answer a lot, actually. I think that does kind of summarize where Rhea Ripley's future kind of will be going after this match. Because again, if to Justin's point, he's saying he believes that Zoe's going to be getting destroyed. Rhea's going to be getting destroyed by Zoe. That it's going to be opposite from a lot of us who believe that Rhea is going to just continuously dominate and make sure that she remains on top, because mommy's always on top, as her slogan is. We
coming to Raw, the feud with the Judgment Day. I don't know if I would like that. No.
That Gallus is coming.
No, I don't think they fit as baby faces. I would be interested, but nah. Honestly, pair him with Drew.
Well, we'll get to that in a second, but nonetheless, going back to Rhea and Zoe and stuff, I do think that this is I feel like this is a no-brainer as well. I feel like this might be that match that doesn't really shock anybody, like this Gunther and Miz match that we were talking about before. Rhea will retain, and there's not really much for Zoe, I think, after. I think this might be that final nail in the coffin for her in the creative sense of going in anything. I would hope that they would do something with both Zoe and Shayna down the road as something as a tag team, because I think them together as a tag team unit was very cool to see, and possibly one of the more exciting tag teams for the championships and representing them at a very high caliber, like her and Ronda tried to do when Ronda was in the WWE. So hopefully we see something that surprises us all Saturday with this, but I too, like Ace to say, that it's going to be just another quick match and another simple thing itself. Derek saying what's going on from Orange Park, Florida. Justin also has another thing to say. Rhea's amazing, but I feel like having Zoe lose kills any credibility for her, and I feel like she's far too good for there to be no direction. Jade Cargill, they will push to the
Starting
moon.
to like suspect that. I don't no, maybe not, but
Starting to suspect that Jade Cargill's coming, or
I thought Justin was somebody I knew that is a bit of a Zoe mark. Let's say.
No.
It's not in my.
Hey, listen, I'm an MJF mark, so listen, we take marks here with all open arms.
I marked a few people.
So we can't judge here. There's no judgment day around these parts. All right, but we're gonna continue on and stuff. Ronda Rousey made her Ring of Honor debut. Yeah, we know we're gonna be talking about that on Sunday. Today's going to be all about, of course, Survivor Series, so we could get to Wolf's watch along in a little bit. But what's up?
Yeah, next is War Games.
War Games! And of course, we're going to start with the women's War Games, which is none other than Bianca, Charlotte, Shotzi, and the newest addition, Becky Lynch, versus the new and improved Damage Control, Asuka, Bayley, Kairi Sane, and Io Sky. I'll start with you, AB. Who do you got in this, and how excited are you to see Kairi Sane back in action and possibly being the second to the main event of Survivor Series, man?
Or maybe
yeah. I mean, it's awesome for Kairi, man. To be, in the I don't know if they're probably gonna have the women's match open or something, just so they don't have two back-to-back War Games matches. But I think with this match,
year they opened with the women's War Games and ended with that.
There we go. Yeah. So I think with this women's match, I'm very excited to see how this plays out. I'm very disinterested in the women's face side because I think it's just a mumbo jumbo of face superstars. Bianca Belair, she's great. Charlotte, uh, give or take, she's great sometimes, sometimes she's not. Um, and I think Becky Lynch being added was kind of just adds a little bit more star power, even though she has low key like nothing to do with the other side, and she's not even a SmackDown star. So, but yeah, I think with this. I think the winners are going to be the heels, the Damage Control. I think Damage Control are going to come out on top. And we're going to see, I think there will be a post match angle where something probably happens with Bailey, whether it is, they hint at her being kicked out of the group, or if she does get kicked out of the group by the end of the night, by the end of the match, sorry. I think that's to be seen. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this match goes. I'm in love with, I love Damage Control right now. I think the group is shaping up to be, probably one of the best women's groups that they've had in a while. And I think, whether or not it is that Bailey gets kicked out, like I said, is to be seen. And like you two were talking about before, marking out for certain wrestlers. I mark out for Kairi Sane. When she returned, I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, wow. And yeah, I think we're gonna see that we're gonna see that that elbow drop off the top of one of the off the top of the cage maybe. A lot of people were talking about it online. I would love to see that, and she even responded to someone saying that on Twitter. So maybe we see it. Maybe we see Io jumping off with a trash can on top of her head again. It's to be seen. It should be a good match.
That's awesome. That's awesome. No, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Kairi. Overall, I feel like this War Games, this pay-per-view entirely is not the most exciting one, but we'll kind of discuss our excitement at the end of all of this. But yeah, Kairi back in action, WWE style, I think is great. She did a great work over in Japan and everything after she left in 2020. So I'm happy to see her back in action here in the States, doing her thing, and of course now being a part of Damage Control, and of course Asuka joining Damage Control is a huge thing, honestly. And I feel like at this stage now, Damage Control is more stronger than ever before. We're just waiting, of course, for the return of Dakota Kai, and it just adds another level of exciting, talented women to this whole entire faction that truly can take on any other division or faction that's happening in Raw and or SmackDown and stuff. So I'm very excited to see Kairi in action, and of course waiting for nonetheless the Damage Control to be reunited once more, of course, on Survivor Series. But I'll be honest, Bianca, Charlotte, Becky, Shotzi, they're not doing it for me. They're not exciting to be in this War Games match. Like, I understand it story-wise, but at the same time, it just doesn't seem right to have them win if that is who they're going to be placing this win on. I'm hoping that it is Damage Control, because at this stage, with everything that's happening with Damage Control and their evolving group, that this is the perfect time to start truly pushing all these ladies to the moon. Because if they are going to turn on Bailey in the near future, and with a beautiful push to the top, it's just going to make this faction a whole lot more interesting to be a part of and a fan of, and everything in between.
I think there was theories that like it was possible that like Dakota Kai ends up like being like the mastermind behind turning on Bailey, which I think would be interesting. But yeah, like you guys said, I definitely think Damage Control has to win this. There's no reason for them to lose.
Correct.
Yeah, like it has to be Damage Control. Like,
yeah,
another possible, like, I could see them turning on Bailey afterwards, and then maybe Charlotte and Becky mostly help Bailey like
but
save
then why
Bailey.
pull Shotzi into the mix if they're just going to reunite the horsewomen?
Why Shotzi?
Why pull Shotzi into the
Well,
mix?
they had that whole like storyline of what's it called? If anything, maybe it's Shotzi that saves Bailey.
No, but I'm saying though, if let's hypothetically speak.
Well,
For a
they
second.
had
Let's
Shotzi and
fantasy book.
Bailey with that whole what's it called? Shotzi like shaved her hair after Bailey and Io were cutting it, and
No, I understand that, but what I'm asking you, and
also
maybe
they
this
teamed, they
is
paired Shotzi and Charlotte together, which was like weird but interesting at the same time.
yeah, but no, like what I'm asking you, and I'm asking AB the same question too, and I want to hear his opinion as well. Is if Shotzi's in this War Games match, and let's say Bailey gets turned on at the end of this match by, of course, Asuka, Io, and Kyrie, and
maybe
possibly even
Dakota.
Dakota. Why pull Shotzi in the mix if it's just to reunite the horsewomen back on
Well, the same.
SmackDown for one more?
Not even on SmackDown because Becky is still.
Becky's on Raw, but
right.
just for a moment.
And then there's
no
also
sense.
like Bianca. The same could be said about Bianca. The thing is, I'm also thinking another thing that they like an extra post-match thing they could do is have Jade make her debut and attack Becky. And then they feud on Raw.
Yeah,
because they seem to like tease it on Halloween Havoc with where Jade would like feud with Becky, but I really don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe instead Jade confronts Rhea, even though I don't want her to fight for the title immediately.
I'll tell you now. I'll be the only motherfucker here that's gonna say this shit. I'm gonna be the only one now. If Jade doesn't come out at Survivor Series or before Survivor Series or has a match before December 31st, 2023, and she shows up at the Rumble, they have reached too far and pulled their hand too quickly to show their cards of getting Jade Cargill on WWE. It's a fact.
Yeah, like
that's a fact. Nobody should hear that and go, "No, that's silly. That's fact."
No, they would absolutely ruin her. Honestly, I am a little more generous and I'll give her till the Rumble. But honestly, they should honestly do it at Survivor Series. Have her attack Becky and have her feud with Becky.
She
easily
better do something by December 31st on any of the three brands.
Yeah.
Because if she only comes out at the Rumble as a number, they should have waited.
Yeah.
And showed her at the Rumble because Florida would have popped hard to see Jade Cargill in WWE. Because not only are they in Florida where AEW's main headquarters is, but she's on WWE soil after her leaving and having a good match with Chris Statlander to go to WWE.
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, just recently, I think she posted her like training with Ricky, and
she
the thing is,
training with God. She better come out by December 31st.
The thing
on
is,
a damn promotion.
I would probably say that long, just because they're now like no longer giving those video packages like consistent and like appearances consistently. Like they're no longer presenting her as a star anymore, and it's like, why?
I'll tell you this: if they do not, if they put her in a dark match, terrible. She better be on my TV on either Monday, Tuesday, or Friday. Because if she's not by New Year's Eve, they fucked up bad. And they made a terrible decision It's not the bad decision that they took her. It's not what I'm saying. It's a good decision that they took her because they're going to give her good matches and good time. But they are going to do nothing with
just to
her.
mess with Dylan's head, they're gonna show her on January 1st, Monday Night Raw.
No, too late. It's too late.
Just
it's too
because,
late if they do that.
well, because December 31st,
It's way too late if they do that.
on a Sunday, so it'd be
No.
like,
No, it's way too late that they do that.
all right.
It's way too late.
Drew McIntyre will kick off Raw tonight. Awesome.
Yeah, it's too late.
We'll see
It's
what
too
happens.
late for her. What's
We'll
up,
see what
Santos? No, I can confirm she's not in any dark matches or main event tonight. No, that's cool, but she has till New Year's Eve. To me, she has till New Year's Eve. If they show her on Saturday in the crowd, if they show her on Saturday, AB, in the crowd,
yeah,
and that's it, I don't want to hear anybody say, "Oh, but she could be going here. Oh, she could be going here." No. She's going in the trash. That's what she's going.
Mm-hmm.
She's going in the trash. Because if now she's going to just show up on the 29th of January for the Rumble and finally start doing something, they fucked up.
Yeah.
They fucked up.
Yeah, for sure. I think we also have to remember the fact that Jade Cargill is still pretty new to wrestling as well. So I think what they're doing right now, especially since she, kind of started learning under probably the AEW style of wrestling, I think they're kind of trying to hone her skills and trying to learn the WWE style, the profession, the sports entertainment side of the wrestling side.
NXT.
Exactly, and I think they're still trying to train her up and everything, make sure she's ready for TV before putting her in front of an audience of over millions, so she doesn't make a fool out of herself. And even we even saw before when she was on AEW television, there were some botches within her match. Her moves weren't the smoothest, so they're probably just trying to make sure that those skills are up to par. Exactly. Make sure those skills are up to par before they put her in front of that millions of people. So
we all have to realize here, Jade is from AEW.
Yeah.
It's a totally different ball game. We're playing. You're playing now for the Yankees. You're not playing for the AA Yankees. You're playing for the guys who get the Pepsi deals, the guys that are facing the Mets in the Subway Series. You're facing the creme de la creme of professional wrestling. You are in the NFL. You're now in the big leagues. So the whole entire eyes and the generation that's looking at her now are so much younger than us, but maybe know the name because of AEW. And a lot of the fans like ourselves who know her want her to do nothing but good when she returns, because they know that this signing was a good signing because WWE is going to give her everything that Tony couldn't give her and some. But it is a different wrestling format that she's wrestling in.
Yeah,
so
that's why I don't think it's smart for her to go after any title.
NXT, I think, would be the best
place
for her.
But the thing is, they've already presented her as main roster talent. They presented her as one of the hottest
at NXT.
agents. Yeah, but the thing is, they've already presented her as a super hot free agent, like a big name. It would be kind of silly, and it would be kind of similar to if they put, I don't know if it's necessarily the same as saying if you put AJ Styles in NXT, even though you put Finn Balor in NXT. So I really don't know.
I think that's perfect training for her.
People
the amount of eyes that NXT already
gets. They found out, they watched her wrestle and found out, she can't wrestle, so now they're dropping her. I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, I don't believe that. IWC is just ridiculous.
That's
but I don't think that. I think that it's a different adjustment, and that's fine. I can understand that. It takes time to learn WWE
I think
routines
just have
and hard spots and
having
stuff.
a simple like regular feud with Becky would be amazing for yeah, I mean, Sheamus apparently was pulled from advertised on Friday. Apparently, his injury is like still like pretty like
Yeah, pretty
bad. Like,
serious.
I think
But
we still have a few weeks for Sheamus to come back.
yeah,
Well,
but no, like I think that now we're at a point where we could safely say like, hey, look, Jade has talent. She's a star caliber athlete. Now with her getting into the ropes of the WWE is great, but if it takes the time, that's fine. And we want to put her on TV, okay. And you're going to kill two birds with one stone by putting her in NXT. Hell, she doesn't have to stay in NXT for a year. She could stay in NXT for 7 months, 6 months, tops, and don't win anything. Just have good matches, build a good character,
maybe
get her
even
into the
less,
promo work.
honestly.
Yeah, and get
You
her
can
just
honestly
used to
put
the
her in for
camera.
like 3 months.
Right. The point is you put her in this practice run with NXT and the women that are already over there, and then after a while you give her an opportunity to shine, like at the Rumble, and have her eliminate X amount of women, have her start a feud with one of them from either Raw or SmackDown, and go from there. Because if anything, you can always put her back down in NXT to retrain and readjust and get recalibrated to then bring her back up again. It's not something they haven't done already. It's not something they're not going to not do again. So I feel like it would just be a safer bet for all parties to do something like this first before just throwing her out there and her not hitting the camera, not hitting here, not connecting with the fans, not hitting the promos, not being the good on the microphone. Like, let her have the work now and practice before jumping to Raw or SmackDown. So that way, when she hits that, she can shine and be one of the best, exciting new talents WWE has signed in quite some time. You know, I don't know. That's my thought. But I don't know. Again,
Yeah,
I'm just
I
a guy behind a camera. So
Yeah.
my thought means absolutely ugats to WWE creative. So it could mean the world or it could mean nothing. So we will see. We will see what happens with Jade. Hopefully Saturday we actually see her in action and something. But now let's get to, of course, the main event of the evening, and this is going to take us into the rest of our show as well. It is going to be the men's war games, as Adam Pearce would say. None other than Cody Rhodes and Yeet partner himself, Jey Uso, with Sami Zayn and Seth freaking Rollins versus Judgment Day. Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and JD, don't Google me, McDonough, all in action in a cage. And we're going to have possibly a fifth member for War Games. So, Wolf, we'll start with you. You know, we've been reading the chat. We've been hearing the rumors. We're thinking Punk. We're thinking maybe Randy Orton. Hell, I even heard you're going to be at Chicago, possibly debuting. So there's so much rumors going around at the IWC world. Who do you believe is coming? Who do you believe is coming on Saturday? And is it to be that fifth member, or is it just going to be a big return? And who do you got,
I
of
think
course, for the game?
the way I see it, I could see multiple returns, but returns or debuts for like I said, Jade could show up at Survivor Series, attack Becky after War Games is all said and done. But another thing is, I definitely see that fifth member. I see Drew joining Judgment Day at War Games, and then of course Cody tonight making that call to Randy, and Randy is showing up to be the fifth member of Team Cody Rhodes. There's also the rumors of a potential open challenge from Mr. Nakamura, where Pepsi Phil will answer. I don't know. I'm leaving it open. I don't expect it, but it could happen. It could happen. Punk returns at Survivor Series. I won't expect it, but if Nakamura does hold an open challenge for a Survivor Series, then I will probably say Punk will probably come back. If they
Same
drop Nakamura's story or they push it back and delay it beyond Survivor Series, then I'll probably say, okay, that now I don't expect Punk to show up at all.
Wow.
But yeah, it really depends what they're gonna do next. But as for who wins, like prediction wise, it has to be Team Cody. Like, get rid of this dumb Judgment Day feud. Like, I'm also hearing rumors that this feud will not end at Survivor Series, at least not for Cody. But maybe Sammy and Seth move on. Jay's still there, but maybe it involves Randy instead of Jay. But I definitely think, or at least instead of Seth and Sammy, but I definitely think they should end it at Survivor Series, and I definitely think Team Cody has to win. There is no reason for the Judgment Day to win. In fact, if the Judgment Day wins, then we're definitely getting at least like all the way until Mania for this feud. So yeah, I definitely think that yeah, there's no reason. Sorry JD, but yes, your first match, like big match for as part of the Judgment Day, you're getting a big loss.
Big loss from a big guy.
Yep.
All right.
Really don't know what they're gonna do with this advantage match. They could do McDonough. They could do like I really don't know who they're gonna choose. For all we know, it could be Drew and Randy on a Monday Night Raw as a main event, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so my pick is Team Cody. Oh yeah, Randy's definitely that.
All right, Wolf. I might have to be in your comment section while you're doing the watch along for Raw this evening, because if that's true, that might be one hell of a moment to watch you start crying live. Listen, I don't want you to cut the camera.
I won't guarantee tears coming out.
I need a moment. Oh my god, I need a moment.
I won't guarantee tears, but I will be very happy. Yes.
Oh, we want tears. God damn it! All right,
I will try to
said tears. We want tears. Stub your foot.
I said it may.
Break a toenail.
I will.
I want to see the tears. Damn it! All right. I want to see them.
You know what? I'll try. I will.
All right. Fair enough. But Mr. Cool AB with the white hoodie on, I want to know what you're thinking for War Games, and who do you believe is coming back as the big return of 2023's Survivor Series?
Yeah, great question. So I'm gonna get my prediction out the way and then go into talk a little bit about it. But I think Team Cody wins, especially given just the implications of the match. I really hope this feud with the Judgment Day does end, especially for Sammy. He's been entangled with the Judgment Day since the Monday Night Raw right after WrestleMania. So it was like the guy can't get a break from these guys. It's been however long. It's been 7 months almost. So I think the guy definitely deserves a break from them. So yeah, Team Cody goes in. I think there might be a little bit of turmoil within the Judgment Day, especially given this whole leadership role. Damian Priest saying that he's the leader of the group, and everybody else not looking that happy about what he said. So we'll see about that in terms of leadership and how they go about navigating War Games as a team. And then lastly, I think the implications this could have for after War Games, I think we can really just think about, where everybody else would be after this match. Team Cody wins. I would really like to see, Sammy and Jay probably move up to the world title scene where they can, kind of, get up there with Seth Rollins and kind of battle it out over there. And as far as for the the last member, I think it's gonna be like who else could it be but Randy Orton? We've been talking about this for months. Like even on shows where Randy Orton wasn't supposed to be appearing, people are like, "Oh, Randy Orton returns." So I think it's gonna be Randy Orton. Um, no doubt about it, and it should be a good match. I don't think I'll tear up, but it would be good to see him back. Has been a while.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, and for this Sunday, whether or not Sunday, Saturday, whether or not CM Punk will show up, I don't think he's coming, guys. Like to be honest, like whether or not Nakamura does, if Nakamura does do an open challenge, maybe that's a little reach for the company to not make it CM Punk, because then that would just be leading people on. You can't really blame the fans for being upset.
Hmm.
But I just think I just don't think it's happening. I think CM Punk probably burned some bridges on his way out, and it's probably some things that probably going to take time to mend. But at the same time, I could see it being a play from the new parent company, right? TKO, and
Hmm.
them being like, you know what, like put aside your differences. This is gonna like it's gonna make both sides money, and from that point of view, I could see them kind of persuading the people in WWE or the powers that be at WWE to allow CM Punk to return and have this monster moment in Chicago. So whatever does
Absolutely.
happen, I think regardless of any of that, I think Team Cody is taking the dub, and yeah, we should see.
Yeah, I agree to both of you guys' points. I feel like at this stage of the game, we've heard so much things happening just to make Survivor Series possibly the moment where Randy returns, if it's not tonight, and it means something to not only the fans but to him as a superstar. So to me, not having Roman Reigns on the card at all is a big deal to do, especially it being the last big pay-per-view of WWE and of course 2023. But if Randy returns tonight and it is CM Punk on Saturday, hell, everyone's eating that are fans of both guys, especially Chicago. Chicago's going to tear the fucking roof off if they hear, Cult of Personality come out and
Yeah.
just rock the house. That also could be your fifth member of Team Cody. And that, I think, also would make heads spin with interesting facts and anecdotes
It would
of
be
what the
interesting
hell.
because it would like show us what the dynamic between Punk and Cody is. It would also like show us what uh how Punk and um Seth would collide with each other. Maybe butt heads. Um,
Yeah,
there's also hell
it's a
you could
lot of tension between Seth and Punk.
possibly even do something with Punk and Jay, although it would be more uh it would be easier to have Randy
Yeah,
and
it
Jay.
smooths over everybody. It keeps everyone calm and at bay for what could be. Um,
Randy I think would be easier to tell the story with
mhm.
everyone. Punk it's really mostly with Seth. Uh because like he doesn't really have much of a relationship with Cody. He doesn't really have much of a relationship with Jay or Sammy. Uh,
Mhm.
Randy, like maybe Randy and Sammy can't really interact much together, but in kayfabe, Jay helped take out Randy. Uh, and and then there's also the history between Randy and Cody, Randy and Seth. So definitely something. Um, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but
Yeah. I got Cody on this one as well. It would make no sense for the Judgment Day to pick up the win here. And also, Asa has the same prediction as well for that match. Pretty much, we all semi agreed on everything. I don't think anybody of us really disagreed on any of the predictions. There might have been one, maybe the Miz and Gunther might have been the only one where we all had our opinions on it. I mean, again, very valid points for the both of you. I appreciate
I
both
still
of you
expect
coming
Gunter
on.
to win, but I think
It would be a swerve of a
huge.
century
It would
to
be
him
huge
for
if
him to
Miz
lose. That is for sure. It won't be Swerve's house, but it would be a swerve to win. I'll say that to you right now.
Yep.
Absolutely, because I mean, hell, like that's
It'd be big for him. It'd be
it's
big for
huge.
Miz.
Yeah, it would be very big for Miz in his career, and it just solidifies him as a true Hall of Famer again. That the Miz already has done for the WWE. But I know you're trying to get ready for your watch along, Wolf, over on your channel. So make sure everyone goes over to Wolf's channel over on YouTube to go and watch him potentially cry live on the internet for Randy's possible return tonight. But if it doesn't happen tonight,
Unless they, okay, I'm gonna say right now that he has to like actually come out to his music, because if they just say, "Oh yeah, Randy's gonna be our fifth member," and
they're not gonna. They're not. It's WWE. They're not gonna do us dirty like that. They're not gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, Randy's coming."
Or like
And
he
then
shows
throw
up
the
on
mic
the
and call it a
Tron
show.
and he speaks to everyone. I'm like, if his music plays, I'll try. But
All right.
if
We're listen. We're
he's
all
just
no pressure,
there
but
and they
pressure.
show him on the Tron, I'm like,
Yeah, no pressure, but we're gonna put some pressure on you. You need to cry. If you don't cry Monday tonight at least, because Randy, let's say, doesn't come tonight, he comes on Saturday. Then boy, you better have a gallon, an empty gallon to hold all of your tears, and a huge box of tissues, so that way we all are not only enjoying this beautiful moment with you, but of course all the amazing fans out there. And yeah, I mean, this has been the Survivor Series predictions for us here at the Last Week of Wrestling podcast. Of course, the rest of the week goes as followed. We're doing a Dynamite watch along. There you go. Love that. We're doing a Dynamite watch along this Wednesday, and then of course Saturday we are doing a dual stream. That's right. WWE and Collision are going head to head. I guess again, I don't know. They're doing this fucking so many goddamn times. It's so hard to keep up right now, but we're going to do a dual stream of both Survivor Series and Collision, so that way we all get a little bit of both products and whatnot. But we do have one more fan question, well, two actually, for us for the evening to talk about briefly. What would you do if I could get CM Punk to be a guest on your show? Well, you email me and we try to get that going. And we'll talk there.
We'll talk about it.
On the air. Listen, cool, great, excellent, very excited. It'll be great to talk to him and everything like that. But hey, man, if it's possible, it is possible. And of course, the other question that he had was, what's a bigger story, Punk returning or Randy Orton returning? We'll start with you, AB. Who do you think's a bigger story? Is it Punk in Chicago, of all places, his hometown with the ice cream bar Phil, or is it Randy?
I think this question's a no-brainer. I think everyone's expecting Randy Orton to return. However, everyone is still in the air. Everyone's speculating CM Punk. And then that shift and that move to, WWE after, originally being with WWE, then going to AEW, and then coming back to WWE, just that big, homecoming after 9 years. I think that'll just be the bigger story overall. So, yeah, to answer that question, I think it's going to be a CM Punk. That's the bigger story.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And what about you, Wolf?
I definitely think Punk would be the bigger story. It would definitely get more buzz, more attention, but obviously people are going to be excited for Randy. Even without Punk, there will still be attention on tonight on Survivor Series because Orton is back after a year and a half gone. Of course, people are going to be excited.
A long time.
Yeah, it's been long.
That's a long time.
Very long time.
A year is a long. I mean, 10 years.
A year and a half.
But
Not even a year. A year and a half.
Yeah, I mean, Edge
It's
had
been
the
felt every
longest.
day.
Yeah, Edge has the longest return, which of course is like 9 or 10
9
years.
years.
Yeah, but a year and a half for Randy is still, it's a long fucking time to be away from professional wrestling. And again, I hope nothing but good things happen to Randy. I hope to see him tonight, but of course, if we do not see him tonight, we most likely will see him Saturday. I'm hoping. If not, hey, if CM Punk wants to come on the podcast, make sure you send me some ice cream, buddy. All right, because I'm a fat guy and I love ice cream. So I'll be eating the Punk bars while we have that interview. Or we could just see you over in Chicago live for that beautiful Survivor Series watch along and everything. AB, thank you so much for joining us today. I missed you, bud. I'm so happy you were able to come on, and we'll catch up in a bit. But of course, Wolf, my guy, my man, go do your damn show. Go get those tears in that tissue box flowing. So that way we get some great clips and you become viral on the internet for Randy's return. And of course, we here at the Last Week of Wrestling podcast want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming on and hanging out with us each and every time we do any of these amazing watch-alongs, prediction pods, or anything else that we do. If you haven't seen what we recently did, go ahead, back into that library, watch the Full Gears watch-along. And if also, we just had an amazing interview with Referee Clark, former GCW referee, independent referee's own first wrestling pro referee, as well as Time Bomb referee Clark. Amazing guy, so much fun. And of course, go run up the numbers. He has a great Scott Steiner story working and driving for Scott Steiner. That's right. Big Daddy Pump got an one-on-one hangout with, of course, Referee Clark. Referee Clark was the driver of Scott Steiner for one of the matches that he did on an indie show many moons ago. And he said that he was exactly everything and more of what Scott Steiner proves and shows us each and every time. Not so much with the mathematics, but a lot more with the personality and everything else that Scott Steiner is. So definitely go run those numbers up. This podcast will be available for everybody on Spotify in the next hour or two. So you can go ahead and listen to it there. And of course, this has been the Last Week Wrestling Podcast. So I want to thank everybody again. And we shall see you Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. Let's take them out, buddy.